and do big waves, big waves, big waves, big waves. Good morning. Good morning. I love it. It's a special, special morning today because we have a special guest. And oh my goodness, I just realized that I did not look for birthdays. So goodness gracious, if we have a birthday today, please holler, let me know. I looked earlier this week, but I didn't look this morning. So gosh, if we do, happy birthday. We love you so much. And if we're not friends on Facebook, send me your birthday because I want to make sure that we celebrate every single human. But sometimes we make a mistake. Sometimes things get messy and we don't get there. So today our word is mess. So I love that because gosh, isn't life messy sometimes? And sometimes like the best moments of our life might start from the messiest places. But what is a mess? A situation or state of affairs that is confused or full of difficulties. A dirty or untidy state of things or a place is, the official dictionary definition. But the quotes that I found is if it's not a mess, it is not progress. That's, Robin Sharma. I mess up everybody's names, but that's okay. Hopefully they feel love. And I love this one by Albert Einstein. It says, if a cluttered desk is a sign of a cluttered mind, what then is an empty desk a sign of? And, sometimes we look around our homes and we're like, how do I live in such a cluster of mess? But if it's completely empty, does that mean this is empty too? And I think about our life. If our life was just so easy, if it was just so clean and perfect, well, there wouldn't be a lot happening in our world, right? Life is messy because people are messy, but we put so much pressure on ourselves to have it all together, to, fit into a certain box, to keep our life neat and tidy. But what if we decided to embrace the mess instead? And if we don't, like if we're like, you know what, I'm going to keep fighting and try to make everything perfect and fit in this little box. Well, we're going to keep striving for that perfection, but we're going to let go of a lot of happiness along the way. We're going to keep ourselves in a state of a lot of anxiety, a lot of pressure to be perfect. So instead, I say we embrace our mess. Because our mess is what makes us who we are. Our mess is what makes us relatable. Our mess is what makes us real and helps us forge connections with other people. When we pretend that we're perfect, we're just pushing the rest of the world away because nobody really is. And, we all see those different things online or wherever, where we're like, oh, they've got it all together. I think about, back in the day, when I first found church. So I was kind of raised outside of church. We didn't go to church. That wasn't part of our life. And I had this picture of what it looked like to be Christian. And I thought you had to be perfect in order to be a Christian because that was the impression that I got. And so I thought, oh, I could never go there. I could never be there. I could never fit in. And I remember I kind of got hoodwinked into going into a church and meeting with these ladies, and they were all beautiful disasters, just like me. And I went, oh, I found my home, right? We're all messy. We all have mistakes. We all have things that we've done that we're not proud of. We've all been there. None of us are perfect, but we can find a community together. So huge gift was all these ladies' messes because it brought me to Jesus. So I'm so grateful for that. But how do we embrace our mess? Right? Our lives are messy. We are messy humans. How do we embrace it? So first of all, we got to look at the positive, right? Look at, yes, my kitchen's a disaster, but it's because I have babies in here that are still in my home and I'll cry if I think about how short that amount of time will be, right? Number two is avoid the dichotomy. And so sometimes it's easy to look at the world through wrong and right, black and white, yes and no. But really, very little of that exists. So when we realize that the world is just full of shades of gray and that my way of doing it might not necessarily be the right way, we can embrace our messes a little bit better. Number three is remember we don't know everything. Dr. Bob, I almost caught that, and that would be Not good. Anyway, sorry about that. But remember that we are all learning. Every single one of us has lessons to learn from this world. We don't know everything. So just embrace that there's more to learn. Number 4 is be empathetic. So when we swap shoes with somebody else, we can embrace the conflict perhaps that we're having with somebody else, or we can embrace the differences when we take a moment to walk in their shoes. Number 5 is to focus on what we can control. Any other control freaks on here that like try to control? Just me? Okay, Arlene and I, Ronnie. Okay, so there's a few of us on here that really would love to control everything, and it's impossible. Like what we can actually control fits like right between these 2 little fingers. So if we realize that we can just focus on the things we can control and let the rest go, we can embrace our mess. Let go of our expectations goes a lot along with that. Have you ever had like a big weekend planned? Maybe you've got a girlfriend coming and you're super excited about it, and then they get there and like everything kind of falls flat. It doesn't quite hit your expectations. Well, maybe because your expectations were way up here. So if you bring your expectations back down to reality, you can embrace all the little moments. And then lastly, and if you guys have ever, were maybe part of our old Limu family, you've probably heard this a time or two, but make your mess your message. All of us have parts of our life that if we were willing to share it, then we could absolutely make that our message, connect with more people and help more people through it. And Ashley, so guys, you saw hopefully that we have a very special guest today, and it's our very own Ashley Paulsen, and she's going to share a little bit about making your mess your message. So Ashley, thank you so much for jumping on here with me this morning.
Good morning. How is everyone? Hello, hello. Happy Tuesday. Oh my goodness. You actually get to see my face today because most days I look a little messy and you don't want to. So I have my camera off. So I was like, Andrea reached out yesterday and she's like, do you want to do the word of the day with me? And I was like, yeah, absolutely. What's the word? And she's like, mess. I'm like, perfect. That totally describes my life right now. And so really just excited to be here. And when Andrea said that, and I noticed BMW Betsy Waters put make your mess your message right as soon as Andrea said the word was mess. And that really truly does come from our old Limu days, from Gary Racer, but it's truly just embracing the mess of life, right? Life can be so, so messy. And I found this when I was talking to Andrea after we had gotten off the phone, I found this image and I've seen it multiple times. And she's going to go ahead and share it. So it's like, this is what your plan looks like, right? Like going to be a great day. There's a rainbow at the end of it. It looks perfect. Nothing in your way, but really like how reality hits, whether this is like what your day looks like, your month looks like. But there's like so many ups and downs, right? The little guy in the boat in the water cracked me up because I'm like, if you would just reach up there to that little pulley thing, he could just zip line across. But sometimes it's like those things that look so easy to do, sometimes in those moments, they're hard to do, right? Even though it'd be easy for him to swim right over there, pick up that little pulley and just swim right across, he's still paddling to the other side. And so I think during the messy parts of life, it's sometimes we just feel so stuck that we can never really, how do we get out, right? And so I loved this image because it's truly how we think our day is going to go or how life's going to go, but really in all reality, it's not. Can anyone relate to this image right here? Because I totally could when I saw it. But it's really with anything, right? It's relationships, it's children, it's careers, it's everything that we have going on, friendships, merit, right? Everything that we have going on. You have those little bumps and those ups and downs all the time, but what are you doing to persevere through it, right? What are you doing to get to the other side so you can get to that flag at the end of the day, or at the end of that time that you're dealing with it? And so really just understanding that you are not what you're going through, right? It doesn't determine who you are. It just determines really, truly what you're made of. And I think in those moments, you come out of it, whatever the messy part is in life, you come out of it a lot stronger and you come out of it a completely different person than when you went into the storm, right? When you went into the messy part of life. And so another thing is just realizing that it's not going to last forever. I know a lot of times in those moments when life's hard and you go through trying times, and different things come your way, a lot of times it feels like, am I ever going to catch a break? When is this going to be over? When can I heal from this? When can I move past this? And things will change, but you're also going to change in the process, right? You're going to have lots of lessons that you're going to learn. There's going to be a lot of joys and a lot of challenges that will come from that moment, but it's not going to last an eternity, right? It's going to be messy. It's going to be unpredictable. Stuff's going to come your way, but fix what you can adapt to, and what you can't, keep doing your best, right? A lot of times it's like Andrea said, we feel like we can control everything. And a lot of times there's so much going on in our lives that we have zero control over, right? But in our mind, it's like, even if you have zero control over it, it truly does control so much of you. And so I've had to learn, and it's a daily process, right? A lot of stuff, like I said, just comes up, and it's truly out of your control and truly nothing you can do. And really just truly finding beauty in the chaos. And so life's been crazy for Ashley Paulsen since, January of 2023. We had 2 kiddos who graduated. We had a puppy who broke her leg. I don't know if I'm living in Washington with Daryl Peterson right now, but we've had rain for like the last week. It's supposed to rain for the next 2 weeks. And my stepson's room flooded yesterday. So that was nice. He went into his room and had wet socks. So it's one of those times where it's like, life's going to happen, right? And sometimes it just slams you right in the forehead. But truly finding the beauty in the chaos. And so last night, after a stressful day of having to deal with wet carpet, wet dressers, right? It's not like it was like flooded, but it was enough that we needed to like dry it out. I could have easily, right, went and sat on the couch. I could have easily went and did whatever. I was like, I'm going to go for a walk. Right. And when I'm on my walk, I was like, sometimes I listen to music, and I took my earbuds out and I was like, I'm just going to listen to nature. Birds were singing, literally all the trees in the neighborhood are blooming. It smelled amazing. There's really, truly beauty everywhere. Right. And so it's like, in those stressful moments, what are you doing to find the beauty in the chaos? Right. What are you doing to look for the gifts in every day and finding that everyday miracle and being thankful for it? Right. And really just embracing what life brings to you, but also just making your message. So that's what I have today, Andrea. Thank you so much for having me on. Tomorrow, my camera might be off again.
Well, I found the way that we get you to have your camera on. I just say, hey, will you do this with me? So that was a beautiful message. I was typing up quotes. I'm gonna have to listen to it again, because you shared a lot of wisdom. So thank you so much this morning. I appreciate you. And good luck with that carpet.
Thanks.
Guys, thank you so much for tuning in with us today. Remember, tonight, Ashley will actually be on a lady Zoom with Dr. Crystal, and we've got a couple of gentlemen doing the gentleman Zoom. So check those out. You can find them on Telegram. But love you guys so much. Have a beautiful day.
Have a
Great
day.
job.